Good afternoon. 90% of you who know me very well know that I really dislike the DAX. Now, in saying that, it is one that I've kept my eye on for the last month or two because of the way this pattern was unfolding. Now, this is a classic head and shoulder pattern, okay, and we have reached the neckline here. Now, what we normally do is measure the distance from the head to the neckline. That is taking you 1,987 points. Now, if you add that onto the break of the neckline and also the break of the 200-week period moving average, you have a target on DAX of 95.46. Now, you know, people say it can't happen. Well, you know, 2 years ago, it did happen. So what I've done is I've given you Fibonacci's from where we actually based in 2016 to where we topped back in the beginning of this year. And really, we haven't done a great deal. You've got this in February, March, that was a bit iffy. We couldn't get above that high. We just couldn't do it. So even though it exceeded this one, it doesn't matter. These days, they don't have to be exact anymore. You know, too many people look at them. Too many algos are following them. Too many algos are trying to break through the levels. A bit like our little life locals did in the pit. So, what do we see from here? It doesn't matter what chart I'm looking at the DAX. I'm not seeing good news for it at all. You can see that we are in a strong downtrend on the weekly. I think it's going to keep going that way. My concern is this measured target. You know, what would fundamentally make the DAX go down to 95.5? I don't know. I'm not a fundamental trader. But somebody somewhere will come out with it because these patterns really cannot be ignored. And if we take a look at the monthly chart, we're not actually faring any better. Because if we do come down and we take out this 23.6 fib and go back up, you've still got this little creature over here from 2015. You know, we are below it. We could bounce off of this 112.59 because the market has had a big move, you know, and although these are slow moving indicators, there is nothing in those indicators that is telling me the market is going to bounce. The only thing I can see is that it's going to struggle at that trend line. I really do believe it's going to struggle at that trend line. But where, if it bounces, can we bounce back to? So we'll go back to the weekly chart. Now this is ingrained in your memory bank, and we'll have a look. I would say if we was going to get a bounce, I can't really see us going back above last week's low. Now the low was 121.03 of last week. This week has just been a bit of a bloodbath. The high this week has been 120.72. So you have got a little tiny bit of a gap. Not that this is taking any notice of it, but it should take notice of this here, this 200-week period moving average. I would think if any point is going to hold, it's going to be this trend line to this moving average. Now you've only got about 60 pips between that, and you know, with something like that, you're going to know very, very quickly that you're wrong, okay? Because markets don't normally break 200-week moving averages and close below them. We can see all this. I mean, it doesn't matter how far back in time I go, it's probably the longest. You know, every time we've dipped, we've closed above it. We've just closed above it, closed above it, closed above it. You know, and the 55-day is, the 55-week is also really important. So you can see that at the moment, DAX traders, and I think everybody that trades stock markets, at this moment in time are all looking at what Germany is going to do to try and stop a bloodbath happening in its stock markets. We would be talking about billions being written off on these companies. Now the DAX isn't made up of many, it's only made up of 30 companies, so this is going to be really crucial to them. They don't want to see the value wiped off their market, but you can't buck market trends and you can't ignore great big head and shoulder patterns like we're seeing here. Okay, so look, this is why I've done the DAX for all you that trade DAX out there. Good luck, and if you wanna talk to me about anything, you can get me on carolharmer29@gmail.com. Many thanks.